Hello everybody, welcome to Feldy, Farmer Yip's creation for Farming Simulator 11. I'm going to hop over to my tractor here. We're out on the island field continuing harvest of silage, chaff, whatever you want to call it. There, we'll start with some. Last episode, we talked at length on some fixes. Well, not really fixes. The only fixes that were made were to my understanding of how how a hired forage harvester is supposed to work. Doggone it, it's always going to look like I'm just... Oh. Yeah, this will be a little tempestuous until I get... Let me see here. Can I sneak along here? There we go. Yeah, he's hired, but I had to learn how to properly hire, again, the forage harvester. You know what? He isn't going to take that whole... Uh-oh, wrong one. I want to make sure he takes that whole row, so I'm going to unhire him there. And I'm going to start him back down here. Get him to take the whole shebang. Now, will he remember his direction? I think he will. Let's go back to the tractor. That's another handy tool, by the way, that little mod that helps remember which direction it was going. You know, this was kind of a feature that many mappers sought after in later versions, the idea of multi-angle terrain. And here in Farm Sim 09 and 11 at least, we had it in the default. You could send him going, oh, you skip some stocks. But in later versions, maybe starting with 13, I don't recall exactly, they started snapping to a grid. North, south, east, west, and then maybe on the diagonal between each one of those compass headings. So you were much more limited, but back here, kind of in this version of the game, it was, you know, it required sometimes a special tool to keep him going the same direction he was going, because you didn't know. That's one reason the compass mod in here is so valuable to me. Anyway, this isn't going quite as quick as it did previously when we had the trailer attached to our forage harvester, but I like it a little better this way because we're going to use courseplay, the power of courseplay, to haul this to, oops, sorry for the bump, haul it to the BGA. I only hope we'll have enough fuel to get through all this and haul it all down there. I think I have the course loaded. Yes, I do. So, nobody watch. I'm not driving over corn stalks here. But then once I send it on the way, we'll leave our forage harvester in the field, whistling Dixie till the tractor gets back. But I'll send it on its way, and then I'll have a couple other things I need to attend to on the farm while the silage is en route. And as slow as this is going, it may take the whole bloomin' episode just to fill the trailer. So maybe I should have, be careful going out of the field. Hardly left myself enough room to turn around here. Oh my goodness. And the turning radius here, no wonder I bumped the dude. He's like, hey. Oh, he figured it out. The visuals in this older version of the game aren't the best, but you do see it's kind of getting in the area of the trailer, so yeah, we'll forgive him for not having the appearance of it as long as it ends up in actuality in our trailer. You know, there is a combi mode for the... Oh, find his way. There's a combi mode for course play. Get just out of his way. Come on, I'm not in your way. And in theory, you could have him take it over to the BGA, just like we're going to have him do it. Return to the field, and then combi mode would have him follow the harvester to get full. I think it would work, but honestly, I don't know, and I'm not sure if I would even trust it if it did. You know, this course play is awesome, but anything can happen, you know, the physics of these old games. So I think I'm better off handling the field part myself and then letting the computer handle the actual transport. Almost through this. We'll get a longer... Yeah, waiting on the hired help. Always waiting on the hired help. But hey, can't argue with the view. We're in a beautiful spot here on good old Feldy. Yeah, I'm still only 41%. You know, I'm just hoping with all this horsing around in the field that I don't end up running out of fuel. But I think I'll be okay, at least. But the problem is I'm soon going to be over 10,000 liters, and I think then the fuel expenditure is just going to become more and more onerous. So we'll see. I guess if I end up running out of fuel and I don't have enough to make the trip, then well, then I'll need to bring some fuel to the field. That's just the long and the short of it. Although I can't remember if in course play, as long as it's doing the course, maybe it'll take you to the end even if you run out of fuel. That part I just don't remember. I do know that, or at least later versions of course play have the courtesy to tell you, hey, such and such a vehicle is, you know, running low on fuel, and you better check that out or whatever. I can't remember if the FS11 version did. Okay, you probably would never do that in real life, but I gotta get turned around here. Turns out much more space is needed for turning around than I realize. So, and probably, you know what would help with this would be if I install the autopilot mod, even though it isn't really realistic. If I install it to the forage harvester, now it could go round and round the field, and this could follow along. It'd be a whole lot easier than just waiting for it to go to turn around and back up and all that chasing around. Alright, swing that arm around. I love seeing that because, hey, it wasn't that long ago and the thing was broke and didn't work, so... Alright, finally we have a nice, long, decent run here. Yeah, so this is helpful to help fill the thing just a little bit quicker. See, that thing going on an angle almost feels like it isn't totally driving straight. Hard to say. Hard to say. Alright, we'll zip out ahead and turn around a different area while it's getting turned around. And I'll say again, I think I've mentioned it before, you know, some of the educational value of farming sim, you can say whatever you want about it, but I didn't know anything about forage harvesting or silage or any of that until playing farming sim. I mean, I knew silage existed, you know, I'd heard of it before, didn't have a clue how it was made. You know, I'd never personally witnessed the harvesting of chaff or corn chopping, you know, in the field, and it was Farming Simulator to learn a little bit about it. You know, and it's my own fault. I mean, you can always look that up on the good old internet, but to get to learn a little about it firsthand, or a game like this, you know, good old farm sim has its value educationally too. 88, 89, 90. Well, maybe I'll make it. It's gonna be, by the time I get down there, probably slurping fumes. I think maybe I'll chance it. Almost full. Oh, blimey, I gotta turn around probably one more time. Get up here, turn around. Trying not to smash the crop. You know, that's, there was a mod I saw somewhere down the line where if you ran over crop in Farm Sim 11, you know, you would do damage. Okay, we're full. 138 gallons. Folks, I don't know if that's going to make it. There it is. Drive course. Stop at the end. How many more? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save right here. Just being prudent in case he doesn't make it. Now, while he's doing his horsing around, let's see, I know we have a tractor and a cultivator unit up here on the hill, and maybe it's, aha, number 8. You know, I got 41 bales. I have picked up all the other bales in the field here. Just left a few sprigs, and I can fit 7 more on your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna have just a handful of bales to come finish picking up. Can we see, by the way? We can't. I keep hoping we'll see the little course play icon down in the lower left as hopefully our tractor comes out. Please, it sure seems like it should be on the road down there. You know, and it's probably not going to tell me if the thing falls in the drink, or will it? I just don't see it. All right, I gotta know. It's going. It's over here. What the soup? I guess I didn't see that. All right. So it's down over here, but for some reason the icon isn't showing. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Huh. Maybe, I don't know why. Oh yes. It's because I got this one here. All right. Where do I take this? I think I'm going to turn this into bedding. I sure don't need the money. So I think I'm just going to haul this up to the dairy, and all right, that guy's making good time down there. I'm going to haul it up to the dairy and turn it into bedding so we can use it on our hogs or cattle and turn it into that way. I don't know if I'm going to do any more on cam of that. Although I got to do a little bit, don't I? I got one more mission to do. And that I need to fulfill, so I'm going to need to use some bedding. But I think I may have plenty up there already. And, you know, this isn't totally according to how things should be, but since we have no crops in the field, I'm going to just kind of cut across here. It'll be a little bit of a shortcut than taking the long way around. Treacherously steep in here. Probably no business taking a trailer like this down in here. Turn the corner. I'm still really enjoying Feldy. I know I will clear to the end. But, you know, it's kind of gotten to a point in here, you know, that illustrates the problem that you always have with a game like this. And, you know, when you look how much money I have in the bank, $1.5 million. I'm just going to cut down through here, too. Although, you know, I don't know that there's an opening down. Oh, yeah, there is. Never mind. But the problem is once there's no more struggle, if you will, and you have plenty of money, everything is coming pretty easy. It takes, here, kind of chip the paint, kind of takes some of the fun out of it, at least for me. Although we could only wish it happened that easily in real life. There ain't no farmer on the planet that has it that easy. It's always a struggle. Back just a wee bit more zinc. This is going to take a little bit. I'm going to get out of its way. Hopefully most of it ends up in the shredder. I got just a handful more bales to go get. But I think my tractor has arrived safely at the BGA. Okay, perfect. It made it here with 45 gallons to spare. Alright, well that's good to know. So we can take care of it in the field and still have enough sauce to make it all the way down here. There we go. There comes the next pad, and I'm gonna go get some juice and send her back out to the field. I guess I wasn't close enough. Load up my course. Was it BGA to Island, I believe I called it. Yes, sir. And due to the magic of how long the hose is, I can turn it loose here, and we'll see if the driver makes it to the field. Alright, let me go back to my bale stacker, and we'll head over the hump here. Back to, oh shoot, drove it right through the hedge. Oh well. Up the hill. I think I'm going to grab a little fuel on the way as I get close up here too, just so I have something up here. Might be able to make it. You know, you can haul a big old heavy load of bales, but unlike the other trailers, it isn't as costly in the fuel. Alright, we'll get him started, and I'm just going to cut back the same way that I came. Right through the field. It is just bonkers how steep this is. And I don't know if anybody from Scotland ever sees this. Please tell me, do you all farm stuff this steep where you're at? Because I just can't see how stuff sticks to the hill being this steep. But if that's what you all do, I would love to see it someday. So one of the things we still need to do in here, which is just down to the right here, down in the pen here, we've never raised some eggs. And as I drive back to the field here, as I come through the barnyard, maybe I can get this gizmo open. And I've started to feed stuff to it. Let me see, pig, bio, cattle, fertilizer, water. Oh, chicken. There was a chicken. Dang it. I'm driving it. I can't pay attention. There we go. Okay, so... Oh, I thought I had put water in there. Okay, so I guess all I've put in there is a bunch of wheat. So, basically a trailer load of wheat, 20,000 liters. So, man, they take a lot of water. These are thirsty chickens. Before they make a single egg or carton or whatever, they, 100 liters. Okay, well, all right. Where do I park this thing, by the way? Once I have it done. Alright, we're done here. Field is clean. And harvest up top here is done. But apparently they also take corn, well, it says corn silage, but I think what it means is chaff. You know, you may remember in Farm Sim 11 they didn't really have silage. It was just called that coming straight from the field, and they need some water. So what I need to do is send my tractor up to get some water. I may need to take a couple loads. Where to park this? Maybe I'll just put it in the same trailer, the same shed as I have the baler in. I don't know if I need the tractor or not. We've kind of seen inside the shed. I got the baler right over here. So just come up here and back in. Don't be surprised if you hear the voice of Farmer Yip. This is kind of where the player spawns each time, and he always has some words of wisdom. Get your butt out and start farming. Alright, oop. Let me try that again. Just whisper it in, and I'll drop it there. Turn around. So yeah, we got some chickens to attend to, but of course I am back out to the field here. You know, I think that worked pretty well, didn't it? So let me load up my island to EFTHI. Oop, I must just go past it. Island to BGA. There it is. So if you all were playing this, would you attempt to use combi mode and have it totally done by the computer here? You know, where it would drive it out here, and of course combi mode would drive it up alongside the harvester, and there we go. And just keep going kind of like we are. I assume it would do it, but you know, honestly, I don't know that I've ever tried combi mode with forage harvesting. So I don't know, maybe it wouldn't work the way I think that it could. I just don't know if I would trust it. So, and you know, to fill this BGA again, and I don't know that I do, you know, maybe this next trailer load, instead of sending it to the BGA, kind of like we just saw, we need some silage for our chickens, and we need it in equal quantity to the grain. Let's drive up here. Yeah, we're scratching the paint, I know. So maybe I just need to take a trailer load over there to match up with the wheat to make sure we use all that up. Then I'm going to need to bring, what would that be, 2,000 liters of water. So maybe, I'm trying to remember, how much does a trailer hold? Is it 2,500 liters? I guess that'd be enough to take care of, yeah, and some. So basically one trailer of water. Yeah, then we'll have ourselves some eggs to sell, and that then brings up the final mission, or the secret mission, if you will, that Farmer Yip has in his manual. And to reiterate, I know we talked about it in a previous episode. I think it says you need eggs, you need ham, which I take to mean you need some hogs, and what was the last one? Chips. That's what it is. Potatoes. So I really can't fulfill the secret mission until I grow some more spuds. So as the harvest gets finished, I know kind of down on the field around where the BGA is, just north of that field, there's some flatter areas. I'm going to load it up with potatoes this time. So most of them, of course, all sell. There isn't anything you can do with the potatoes in this map other than sell them. And conversely, there isn't anything you can do with the sweet, or not sweet potatoes, the sweet potatoes, if only we had that in here. But the sugar beets. The only thing you do with the sugar beets is turn them into hog food, I believe. can't sell them, so back up. There comes the pipe. Kind of handy to have these longer strings through here. You get more put into the trailer. So maybe this load here, and I don't know how much more time we have on this episode, 5-6 minutes, maybe this load here I will manually take up to the farm and put in with the chickens. And then at some point I'm going to need to get some water up there somehow. So there was just so much to do on this particular map, and I know I'll continue to say this map was ahead of its time. Even though the graphics aren't snappy in this version of the game, I mean, just think about it. This has things in it that only now in Farm Sim 22 and 25 that they're bringing into the game. And I'm talking the giants. They had, there was always mods for production processes and that kind of thing. But maybe it took till Farm Sim 25, I can't remember. No, maybe it was 22. Before the giants themselves put into the game the concept of a factory. And I don't know why it took so long. There is a concept of sometimes leaving certain things undone so that a modder can do it and give them the pleasure, of creating something. I know sometimes people have said, oh, the modders did this and that, and the giants copied their idea and put it in the game, and the modders did all the work. Well, not really. That isn't how I see it. I think some of that is deliberate. The professionals, they could have done a whole lot with this game. When you leave it for the modders to do, it gives them something to do. But by the time, we get to Farm Sim 22, 25, they finally now have things in it for factories. Well, the thing we're looking at here with this chicken trough is a glorified factory, where you make an end product with certain inputs. And here we have this clear back in Farm Sim 11. So like I say, okay, maybe you could quibble over the graphics, it doesn't look very good, but I still think good old Feldy, with everything it has in it, holds up very well, even against some of the most modern maps. The graphics accepted, just because of all the features and everything that it has in it. And when you add a few mods to it, you almost have the equivalent, And I don't know, maybe some of it is, it doesn't take much to make me content, really. I don't mind that the graphics are not as good like in this older version. I know I've mentioned it before. To me, it is all about the map and the type of environment that it creates. And I really like the environment, the farmer you have created in Feldy. You just did a bang-up job, and there's obviously other Farm Sim 11 apps I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot pole because, well, there's just something way better. Actually, let me get this off. I don't know if I need to create a course going up there, but shoot, why not? What's the quickest way? Alright, I think I know what the quickest way is. Why not create a course if you're going to head somewhere? There's one, there's two. Carefully drive down over here, because you never know. Maybe I'll be playing this for eons yet. And keep it going and need this route. And here's the thing about Feldy, we're admittedly getting down to the short end of things that I still want to do in here. at some point, a person moves on to another farm, and so we're about out at that point in here. But Feldy, I hadn't touched it for several years, and then when I came back to it, all I was intending to do, I was actually showcasing another map, and I said, hey, here, let's look at this other one that the same map author made, so you can see the level of quality, that this person did. And I got into it, coming back to this map, and it's like, hey, this is fun. And was induced to come in here, and here now, what is this, the 100 and some episodes, I think we're on the 107th episode. I never thought or intended that this would be the result, that I would come back in here and do this. So it's a map like this has, I guess, what I would call staying power, especially for those of us who enjoy some of these older versions of the game, or if you get introduced to it. I mean, probably this particular map came out late in the production cycle for Farm Sim 11. I almost think it was released after Farm Sim 13 had been released. So in my mind, it never really received the press or that kind of thing that it could have received. And some of it is because when you do something good, it takes a long time to do it. And so to create something spectacular, a lot of times you're taking a ton of time, and it just takes almost till the next one is released before you even have it. So I don't know if it was entirely that bad. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, but it's just the kind of app that how it's designed and the things that are on it. I have no doubt that when I put this down, and it may be several years that I never see it, think about it, touch it, whatever, but I know that if someday I get curious and I think about it again and open it up, it's gonna suck me right back in. And I just need to make sure I put all my mods kind of in a special spot, because they don't just have these on the internet anymore. They're getting harder and harder to find. But I don't know. I'm still having a ball in here, and even though we're going to be done with it probably soon, don't know how many more episodes it'll take. It's just a stellar map. And anybody interested in these older games, I'd certainly recommend it to you to give it a try. You can find it on Mod Hoster. I have a link down in the description where you can get it. Take it out, dust off your old Farm Sim 11 and give it a try. And I think you'll enjoy it as much as I have. Anywho, we are at the farmyard, so I gotta equip my cores here shortly and deliver this to our hungry chickens. So thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.